vocabulary, and the sports IQ on top Sports Assembly on World Radio 89.3 FM, where sports matter, they share.
God put you where you are. You need to find it so that you can live a life of impact.
It's something new on Wells Radio 89.3 FM Ibadan.
Today is your day of freedom. Today is your day of deliverance.
It's Moving Forward with Pastor Sarah, a 15-minute teaching of God's Word by Pastor Sarah Omaku, Senior Pastor, Family Worship Center. The world is filled with bad news, fear, and anxiety. But God's timeless word brings good news of hope and victory.
If God says you can, you can. If God says you can move, you can move. If God says you will make it, you will make it. Nobody can stop you.
Join Pastor Sarah Omaku on Wells Radio 89.3 FM Ibadan and learn how to win a life using God's word every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 7:45 p.m. Moving Forward with Pastor Sarah on the station. Don't miss it.
Hey, I dey miss my language oh.
How you go miss your language when na in dey speak for Wazobia platform wey dey shele for Wells Radio 89.3 FM?
Haba, Wazobia platform na your program from Wells Radio 89.3 FM where they speak Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa plus including Pidgin, and every Mondays, Wednesday, Fridays you go hear am.
Na from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
Advertise for Wazobia platform. Everybody go hear am for every corner for your state and beyond.
Wazobia platform na people's program.
Na ọ bụ gịnị na-akpọtụ?
Nwanne biko were ọsọ were ije bịa nụrụ ihe m na-anụ n'oge ụwa ndị Igbo. Ịnafite gị ntị ugbu a site na Wells Radio 89.3 FM kwa Tuesday ọbụla ọkụ elekere 3 nke ehihie wee ruo elekere 4.
Chukwuemeka mụ na Chiso na-ahazi okwu n'oge ụwa ndị Igbo. Suba Igbo, bilie Igbo elu.
bá fẹ́ polówó ọjà yín lórí rédíò tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ máa ta wàràwàrà bọ́ mẹ́ta ṣe ń tà West Radio ní kẹ́ ẹ máa bọ̀ o àfẹ̀tiwa gbé tiyín lárugẹ owó ò ga jara lọ o come for your jingle and advertisement at West Radio 89.3 FM gbogbo lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́ àti lájọ̀lájọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá àti kéékèèké ẹ̀yin ilé ìjọsìn pátápátá ẹ máa bọ̀ ẹ wá gbé wò ẹ jẹ́ wò ẹ jọ́ wò ẹ tọ́ wò jọ́ ẹ ó gbà kọ́ga ni mástà. kí lẹ tún dúró ṣe náà. ẹ má ṣe tàbí ṣùgbọ́n o. ẹ máa bọ̀ wá sílé iṣẹ́ wa. gbàǹgbà la wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ títì. ilé funfun pẹ̀lú àwọ̀ búlù. West Broadcasting House ní Aláàfin Avenue Olúyọ̀lé Estate Ìbàdàn Ọ̀yọ́ State Nàìjíríà. ẹ̀lú 07066165053 tàbí 08035093394 West Radio 89.3 FM ọlọ́run gbọ́ gbogbo tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ojú kan ló wà.
ẹ filẹ̀ ẹ má yí kúrò Wells Radio 89.3 FM níbẹ̀ gangan lẹ wà.
Tired of listening to the same old content? Tune in to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, the only radio other radio stations listen to.
89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
Studio time check says it's 39 minutes past 6 a.m. Today, the 9th day in the 9th month of the year 2025. Good morning to you, dear listener. Thank you for tuning to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your number one family radio in the whole of Oyo State. We're broadcasting live from Wells Broadcasting House, which is located along Aláàfin Avenue, Olúyọ̀lé State, Ìbàdàn. Good morning once again. Thank you for tuning in. It's time for Perspectives Unlimited. It's beyond time for Perspectives Unlimited. Well, thank you so much for your patience and for staying tuned. Perspectives Unlimited is where we take a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in the country. We take a look at these headlines. We talk about them. We go beyond the news. We help you make sense of these stories. Okay, that's what we do on Perspectives Unlimited. So good morning once again, and thank you for joining us. My name is Bolanle Oduekun Ayola, and together we'll be taking a look at some of these headlines on the front pages of the dailies. We'll start with the Punch newspaper front page. The Punch newspaper front page, where the lead headline says 2027 North rallies voters as South tops pre-registration list. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. The writer says Osun, Lagos, Ogun lead as online pre-registration hits 3.5 million. 288,614 complete physical exercise. We also have these northern governors, parties, groups unveil campaigns to close widening regional voters gap. You find that on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. JAMB uncovers over 6,000 AI biometric malpractices. That's on page 21. Nupeng shuts depots as federal government Dangote talks drag. Union, government, others hold high-stakes meeting in Abuja. Pengas and NATO back Nupeng. That story is on page 37. Compensation row may stall 712 billion naira Lagos airport revamp. You find that story on page 38 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines. OPS rejects 5% fuel surcharge. TUC threatens strike. That's on page 37. Kaduna violence. El Rufai ADC leaders shun police invitation. That's on page 21. Seized allocations. Court hears Osun suit against CBN. That's on page 21. 2 killed in fresh Lagos court clashes. That's on page 4. And we have here a question. World Cup qualifier. Can Eagles fly high in Bloemfontein? That's a very good question because they're playing the match against the Bayana of South Africa today. Let's take a look at other dailies and see what these dailies have in stock for us. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning, the lead headline says proposed 5% tax on petroleum products. TUC threatens strike, describes policy as economic wickedness. That's on page 11 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Owerri Shoki residents protest demolition of homes, cause gridlock on Third Mainland Bridge. Yes, that's on page 25. That happened yesterday. More headlines. On the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, motorists lament state of Ibadan Ijebu-Ode Road. That's on page 5. Local government funds fireworks as at Abuja court, as Osun government says AGF not ready to obey court orders, explains case at Supreme Court. That's on page 15. Governor Okpebolo implements unprecedented reforms in Edo Civil Service. You find that on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Let's take a look at more headlines. This morning on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, the lead headline says JAMB panel examination malpractice becoming normal, uncovers 4,251 tech-driven cases. That's on pages 3 and 4. Speaker Abbas, Africa's debt at critical point. That's on page 17. Low turnout as schools resume. Okay, schools have resumed in Lagos and some other states, but not yet in Oyo State. Patients in FCT seek alternatives as doctors begin strike. That's on page 5. Man found dead inside car at NAS complex. You find that on page 20. My husband's death, not accidental. Wife of slain NSCDC officer alleges. That's on page 16 of the Daily Trust newspaper. These and many more are some of the things we'll be talking about on Perspectives Unlimited. I'll bring in our analyst on the show this morning, Mr. Chukwemeka Munachiso. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Bola.
How do you do?
I'm always doing fine.
Yeah, I mean that could be an inspiration for someone to say, you know what, regardless of whatever is happening,
no matter
in the country,
what,
I'll always,
the show must go on. That's my philosophy.
Which is very true because there's an adage that says that where as long as there's life,
There is hope.
There is hope. So this is to you listening this morning. Don't lose hope. Things may not look as you want them to be, but don't worry. There is hope for you, regardless of what the situation is saying. Let's get started, Chukwemeka, because there's some things to talk about this morning, very important. And I think most important of all is this row between the Nupeng and Dangote. Because one thing that many Nigerians pray not to experience is fuel scarcity. It stresses everybody out, from hospitals to factories, to school children, to even personal homes. People that have to do businesses. Nigeria still cannot boast of uninterrupted power supply, right? And so we know what we don't want, and what we don't want is fuel scarcity. It's already expensive. And for those who are managing to buy, I say managing to buy because I can't remember when last I bought fuel for generator, because it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
So for those who are, managing, pushing themselves, because some people are buying not because they're trying to live large. They're buying it for their generators because there's no alternative for them. There's nothing else that they can do, right? So, let's take a look at the story by and by. Now, apparently, Nupeng has had this issue with Dangote, where they say that Dangote was going to put some trucks on the road, the CNG trucks, and was hiring workers for these trucks. And then they said in the contract that he gave these workers, there was a part there that said they should not join any union. And we know that in Nigeria, unionism is the bedrock of, workers. It's everywhere. Yeah, you have it in the medical sector. You have it even in the market. People who sell pomo, they have their union. People who grind pepper, they have their union. And the clause there for Dangote is, for those people who want to get the jobs, is you cannot join any union. And Nupeng said, you know what, this is not right. We don't want this. This matter is not fresh. It's not a matter of yesterday or the day before yesterday. It's been on for about a week. Nupeng has been shouting for the world to hear, asking the federal government to wade into the matter.
You see, what we have on the ground is people working on the feelings of other people. Nigeria is a country where the abnormal is becoming normal. Unionism is part and parcel of every country. There is no country you go to without seeing unionism in one way or the other. And unionism is a way of protecting the interest of those who ascribe or subscribe to that unionism. And in a country like Nigeria, where might is right, individuals ride the roughshod over others because there is nothing like justice here. We created Dangote. Nigeria created that establishment. You know why? Because Nigerian state failed to do the needful for the citizens. And Dangote now that establishment did not emerge as a result of competition. It emerged as a result of government patronage and favoritism. That was what created. Yes, I'm coming. That was what created Dangote establishment. And from that position now, as a monopoly in oil and every other thing, sugar, cement, everything, what do you expect the man will do? That is human nature. He is holding the yam, he is holding the knife. If he gives you, you eat. If he doesn't give you, you eat. And the nation is bowing down to him because we created the monopoly. And if there is a level playing ground for other people to enter into that sector and they enjoy the same government patronage and favoritism, Dangote will not be the only monopoly we have. But look at what is going on as of right now. From that position, you now said that, if my drivers will not be part of the union. Who are you as an individual? That's the question. Now you are bigger. You are not bigger than the country. And thank God that somebody like Femi Falana has waded into the matter, and let's see how it rolls. And when they go to court, let's pray that they will interpret it the way it should be. That look, because the Minister of Labour said that he wants to go and to settle. What are you settling?
So at the moment, they're not even yet talking about going to court, right? But yesterday they held a meeting. Now let's talk about the habits that the federal government has of not. Nupeng has been shouting for the whole of last week, that government, you guys come and talk some sense into this, this person and all of that, and they've turned a blind eye. Until Sunday, I believe, when the Minister of Labour then said, okay, you guys come and meet us at Abuja, let's have the meeting at 3 p.m. And then all of a sudden, yesterday morning again, he said, you know what, let's not have it at 3 p.m. because we are really interested in this thing. People must not go on strike, so let's have it at 10 a.m. And obviously, Peng officials couldn't make it to Abuja by 10 a.m. Even as at 2:30 p.m. when I was monitoring the situation, they were not yet at Abuja because they were trying to get tickets in Lagos. So eventually, they got to Abuja. This is the same, attitude that the federal government has always shown. Be it NLC, TUC, doctors, anybody saying we're going on strike, they wait till the last minute before they then say, let's see you.
You know why it is like that? We don't have strong institutions, and Nigerians don't have trust in their institutions, and the system is not working. In a system where it is working, you don't have to wait for the last minute to begin to run around like rabbit and begin to call people here and there. You don't do that. The system has collapsed. It's not working. So they now feel that, let's do this. No, in a normal situation where things are streamlined, you know what to do at each point in time. The government does not need to Dangote will not even do what he did. Because he knows the consequences. But to hear there are no consequences for any breach. It is, who do you know? Are you above the law? What connection do you have? In a country where there is law and order, Nigeria remains a lawless state. That is why people can wake up and do whatever they want to do.
But Nigeria is a state governed by law.
Which law do we have? Tell me if
we
the
have
law.
The constitution.
Which constitution? How many people obey? We have constitution, and human beings are being set ablaze because in the name of religion, and nothing has been done. What constitution is that? In constitution where you come out and do what you, and the constitution that does not obey court order. Which constitution? In every country, constitution is supreme. How many people obey the constitution? We have so many things. Our problem is not constitution. Our problem is lack of will to obey what is in the constitution. That is what I'm saying. You understand? So if we have constitution, then Dangote will not even be doing what he's doing. It's a violation of the constitution. Go to unionism. Read what he won't even die it. In a country where there is law and order, where there is sanity, he won't do it because he knows that government will come after him. But now he is doing what he's doing because he feels he has the government in his pocket. So that is the thing. So let's go back to look at if we have law and order. Look at 5%.
Well, we're even coming to that because it's getting real.
It's getting real because there is no order. There is lawlessness everywhere. People can just wake up and you don't run a country that way. That's what I'm saying.
All right. The meeting actually held yesterday, and the Ministry of Labour played an intermediary role. And then they had resolutions of memorandum of understanding that were read for all partners to agree upon and sign. However, disagreements with some of the resolutions by officials of the Dangote Group again led to further talks. And as of 10:15 p.m. yesterday, they were still talking in a bid to find a lasting solution to the crisis. But while they were talking, petroleum tanker drivers made real their threat to shun fuel loading due to this crisis. And, so they didn't load fuel. In some other parts of the country, filling stations were also closed by Nupeng members. I know that in Ibadan here, at least as far as I could see at past 6 yesterday, filling stations were still open, still selling fuel and, all of that. But let's not forget that this is not just Nupeng. Pengasan, NATO, Nagosa, and so many others have said we're going to join, Nupeng. We're going to join Nupeng. There's also this question I want to ask you, Chukwemeka. Now, there's also an association as well that has said that Dangote's plans to, do direct supply. So that's his plan, to supply directly from the Dangote. Listen to, he said that it won't work because they as the intermediary,
the middlemen.
Yes, what's your
you see,
do we need middlemen?
No, Bola. You see, if you look at what is going on right now, the middlemen are there. We have middlemen, and there is no economy without middlemen. But the issue is that these middlemen is there any way they play according to rules? You understand?
Are there no rules guiding them?
Are there rules guiding them? Is the government guiding their actions? Because if you leave them on their own, the end users of whatever will bear the brunt. You understand? Middlemen, yes, because they too want to get some cut of what is coming to the ordinary people. But the issue is that what is the role of these middlemen? You just mentioned Nupeng, NLC, NATO, and all of them. I remember in the days of the military era, we have Nupeng and the NLC. They were in the original form. These ones we have now are photocopies. Those days they were asking for good governance. Now these people are coming out to ask for money. I remember I was politically conscious, though I was in school then. But I remember that when you hear of Nupeng, the military were even afraid of Nupeng and all of them, because these guys were in the trenches asking for good governance, not for themselves, but for, if we had original Nupeng and NLC, there are some of the things in the country today that wouldn't have been going the way it is going, because they will stick to their originality. But today we have photocopies all over the place, whereby the only thing that brings NLC to the street is asking for more money. They are not even asking for good governance. They are not even asking for that constitution must be obeyed. They are not even asking that allowances of our elected officials should be trimmed. They are not even asking for those things, because they are now photocopies of the original format. So if we have the original Nupeng and original NLC, there are certain things government is doing that they will not do. They will not do it, because remember the days of Kokori. These are men who actually looked government even the military in the face and say you cannot do this, not for themselves but for the generality of the people of Nigeria. But today it's all about money, more money. Give us money. We will not. You only come to the street when things touches you. You don't do that.
Let's talk about, well, maybe not let's talk about, because it's then obvious that if this row continues to drag, when they say when two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. Now it's people who, how do they put it? Those of us who don't know anybody, we're going to bear the brunt, because transport fares will increase.
My fear is if this, Bola, that the children will resume on Monday. The consequences on the parents.
Children have already even resumed in Lagos State, for example.
We are in Lagos here.
Yes.
This is our base. So we are talking of this place. What will be the consequences on the parents and the children? Nobody factors that in.
And this is as parents are also still struggling with school fees. The price of books. When I heard the price of books for my children, I was like, at some point, it's even more than the school fees. You
think you are going for marriage?
All right, if you're just joining us, it's Perspectives Unlimited, coming to you from Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. This matters are matters that affect us. That's just the truth.
That is the thing.
We're laughing, but honest, it's not funny.
It's not a laughing matter.
Yes.
Everybody's affected.
Everyone is affected. So, and that's why we always implore these people at the top to always put the people in consideration. You know, whether you be the supplier, the creator, the producer, put people into consideration.
This you are saying can only be possible if you have a working system, a system whereby you disobey the law, you pay for it. Without nobody will even ask you. Imagine, is it possible? You go to some countries, there are certain things they won't even get the president to know, because there are things set in place to do. Look at nature. You plant corn, you get corn. You do this, you get this. You didn't do this, this is the consequences. But in Nigeria, everything will be circumvented. People will now look for, gather here. Are we running a monarchy? It's not a monarchy now. If we have laws that are streamlined, that everything is in place, you don't need the Minister of Labour doesn't even need to get involved, because he knows that this man, he must not do this thing. If you do it, this is the price you pay. But people do whatever they want to do. because it's a reign of impunity.
All right, thank you so much, Chukwemeka. If you're just joining us, it's Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your number one family radio in the whole of Oyo State. The Nigerian Constitution, actually provides for the freedom of, joining. Unionism, there's a part here that also talks about unionism. But we'll take a short break.
Okay.
When we come back from that break, we'll talk some more on this and many other issues. It's Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. Don't go anywhere. Please stay with us.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Yomi on 0706 616 5053. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ polówó ọjà yín lórí rédíò tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ máa ta wàràwàrà bọ́ mẹ́ta ṣe ń tà West Radio ní kẹ́ ẹ máa bọ̀ o àfẹ̀tiwà gbé tiyín lárugẹ owó owó ò ga jara lọ o come for your jingle and advertisement at West Radio 89.3 FM gbogbo lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́ àti lájọ̀lájọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá àti kéékèèké ẹ̀yin ilé ìjọsìn pátápátá ẹ máa bọ̀ ẹ wá gbé wò ẹ jẹ́ wò ẹ jọ́ wò ẹ tọ́ wò jọ́ ẹ ó gbà ọ̀gá ni mástà. kí lẹ tún dúró ṣe náà. ẹ má ṣe tàbí ṣùgbọ́n o. ẹ máa bọ̀ wá sílé iṣẹ́ wa. gbàǹgbà la wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ títì. ilé funfun pẹ̀lú àwọ̀ búlù. West Broadcasting House ní Aláàfin Avenue Olúyọ̀lé Estate Ìbàdàn Ọ̀yọ́ State Nàìjíríà. ẹ̀lú 07066165053 tàbí 08035093394 West Radio 89.3 FM ọlọ́run gbọ́ gbogbo tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ojú kan ló wà.
All right, you're welcome back. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. We're reaching you live from Wells Broadcasting House along Galafin Avenue, Ulioli State, Ibadan. This is Perspectives Unlimited. My name is Bolanle Oduekun. Your lab, we're back, and the studio lines are officially open. We saw some of your calls during the break. I'll read out the studio lines so that you can also be a part of the conversation. 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, 0911 3333 893. I'll take the numbers again. 0916 893 1000. 0915 333 4893 and 0911 3333 893. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, ma'am. Ruth calling from Malakia.
Good morning, Ruth.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let's have your contribution.
Shutting down of depots in the country at this present time, that schools will resume is not really a good one for local, because this really cause a lot of bad and good. And moreover, the government should please, the government should act fast on their request, because actually they really love with the masses. And they have never gone on strike. We are feeling the heat already. Now if they go on strike, they should please do the needful, because we can't continue like this. And they said we should focus on balance, that we should not fit him, that he's going to do it. So why all this? Why do they keep with the masses? Why do they always enjoy suffering? It's not good. They should please have mercy on us. Good morning.
Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. All right, now before I move away from this matter totally, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, recognizes the right to unionism in Section 40, where it says that everyone has the right to assemble freely, the right to assembly and free association. Yes, with other persons, and of course this includes the right to form, belong to any political party, trade union, any other associations that has the protection of your best interests. And but the government may restrict or regulate unionism in interest of defense, public safety, public order, public morality, public health, or to protect the rights and freedom of others. We see that what's happening has nothing to do with all of that. So we honestly hope that, for me, it's exasperation, because I just hope that this issue should just be solved today.
Yeah, we all pray it will be solved. If there is the will to obey the Constitution.
The will to obey the Constitution.
Yeah, without because our problem is not laws, it's about obedience. We are very, very disobedient people, indisciplined people. You understand? We don't have regard for anything that is called law. Though our statute books are full of laws, but implementation has always been a problem, because this big man syndrome will never allow things to work in this country.
All right, let's take a look at more stories this morning. We're going to the 5% surcharge, but let's take this call first. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Wesley.
Good morning to you, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is George. I'm calling you from Oduekun.
You're welcome, Mr. George. How are you doing?
I'm good.
All right, so let's have your contribution.
It's not a good thing for leaders not to listen to the yearnings of the masses. We have been complaining about the issue of fuel subsidy removal. Why has the president now brought in a petroleum tax again, adding to the problem that we are crying for? These are the things we are talking about. The moment you don't have plans for those you are ruling, you are a bad leader. You should try to make things better for the masses. People are crying. Look at what he has just done now. And he did it and he flew out of the country. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. George, for your contribution this morning. Mr. George has, started us on that path, so we'll take it. The Nigerian Tribune has this headline that says, TUC issues 14-day ultimatum to federal government over proposed 5% tax on petroleum products. Now, the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the federal government to withdraw its planned 5% tax on petroleum products or face a nationwide strike. The Congress described the proposed tax as an act of economic wickedness that will further impoverish Nigerians already groaning under the weight of subsidy removal, inflation, and a battered economy. Basically, they did this they wrote a statement saying they will not hesitate to mobilize Nigerian workers, civil society, and so. You know, that Nigerians are still grappling with the effects of subsidy removal, skyrocketing fuel prices, and collapsing naira, and you want to take this levy, you know, at such a critical time. It's worthy of note that this surcharge has not, you know, taken effect. However, the mere thought of this surcharge makes no sense.
You see, Bola, there is something I want to remind you here. We are in a situation where the people that are in power believe that they are above constitution. They will do whatever they want to do without carrying people along. It's dangerous. I want us to go back into history. On December 30, 2003, the then Senate President, Adolphus Wabara, under Obasanjo, notified the National Assembly that Obasanjo proposed to introduce 150 naira road maintenance tax on every liter of fuel consumed in the country. Yes, December 30, 2003. Tinubu then, who was the governor of Lagos State, opposed the move in concert with labor unions and civil society groups. Then he was an activist. Today, the same Tinubu has taken the opposite path. What he opposed during Obasanjo is what he has brought back to impose upon the people of Nigeria. Now, I will take you back into history again. In February 2011, when President Tinubu was the chieftain of Action Congress of Nigeria, ACN, and Jonathan was in power, he called Jonathan a drunkard and a sinking sailor. Jonathan didn't take any action. Jonathan, he ignored the call. Today, DSS is running after Showore like a rabbit because of a tweet. Why don't you ignore Showore? Why don't you behave maturely like Jonathan? You call Jonathan a drunkard. You called him a sinking fisherman. Nobody heard of it. I'm saying this for the sake of history. For our children to know that, look, that's why my people have a proverb, that he that cuts people's head doesn't always allow people to go behind him with a machete. You don't do that. You said you oppose this 5% tax under Obasanjo. Now you are imposing it on Nigerians. You call Jonathan a drunkard, a sitting president, you called him a drunkard, you called him a sinking fisherman. Now today, you set state apparatuses, security, after a civil society, after an activist who called you a name you didn't like. If you know you don't, then why do you? Because the good book said, whatever a man sows is what he reaps. I believe in that. If you call people names and people call you names, don't be offended.
Let's go
if
back
you know
to
you
this.
are not what they said you are.
Let's go back to this 5% surcharge, because I really don't want to dabble into the Showore matter.
Okay.
Now, legal experts have said that this 5% surcharge on fuel is not new because it has been embedded in the Nigerian law for nearly 2 decades. They say it first appeared under the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency. That's what we were talking about, the FEMA Act of 2007. But it was just so the point of the tax then was that when the levy is paid on fuel sales, it will fund road maintenance. But it's been there, but it was never enforced.
It wasn't enforced.
But now, what this administration has done
is to enforce it.
Is to reintroduce it as part of harmonizing all tax laws and also enforce it. Enforcing it as well, they have not put a date.
It will not be enforced because what you opposed. You don't have to bring it back to the people. How many taxes are we going to pay? One day we are going to wake up and see that all the air we breathe in, if it's possible, safe, to know the quantity of air with oxygen, they will tax it. Is that how to build the economy? You say economy is improving. Is it not the people are the indices for determining how? But if you travel to a country and see beggars on the main road right from the tarmac, don't you know that country is wretched?
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, madam. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Miriam from Oduekun.
Good morning, Miriam. How are you doing?
I'm very well.
All right, let's have your contribution.
To me, the problem we are having with Dangote right now stems from the federal government itself to revive our refineries. Because I believe that if we had at least one or two refineries working perfectly, an individual wouldn't be able to even try to monopolize the project. So it's high time the federal government did its part. We are tired of these strikes, paying whatever every day. The federal government should please come to our aid. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your contribution. The phone lines are still open: 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, and 0911 3333893. Now, while many people, this is just to give us facts, about this 5% surcharge. Now, many people are saying that we'll start paying this levy from January 2026, but this is not accurate. The Act clearly states that the Minister of Finance must announce the commencement date through a government gazette before enforcement can begin. So if you're thinking that we'll start paying it from January 2026, and the minister comes today or tomorrow to say, let's start paying this thing next week, just so that you won't be shocked, it's all going to be from the Minister of Finance. So he's the one we'll be looking to see if he will ever, come out to say that this is when we'll start paying it. Okay, let's take that call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, West Radio.
Good morning to you, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
All right, my name is Salami. I'm calling from Awoton.
You're welcome, Mr. Salami. How are you doing?
Thank you very much, Mr. God bless you, ma'am. Mr. Seneca, good morning.
Good morning, Salami.
In this country, it's a pity that our government over the years, through their patronage and how do I put it now we have succeeded in institutionalizing Dangote. We are just looking at Dangote as an individual, not as an individual. Dangote has carefully positioned himself as an institution, and that's why he has the emboldenment to introduce or to kind of deny the staff the right of association to belong to any union who would protect them in case of any industrial dispute. He knows what he's doing, honestly speaking, and he's fighting in his activity because of government backing, because of government patronage as a result of their negligence of duties. Our leaders. That is that. Now, how did you get to this point? We have gotten to this point because our government over the years have not done the needful to our oil sector industry. I think the NNPC is working very well. Dangote would have been struggling. Dangote would have been struggling to even sell his oil. But now, simply because even Mr. President, we are even surprised that despite his power promises to fix our refinery, he has actually delivered our oil industry and he has sent it over to Dangote. So Dangote is now the main person producing our oil. What do you expect? And so that's why the man is always considering any idea that will favor his business, not minding of his girl, which is not fair. And now, Tinubu is even missing the idea of implementing 5% plan, which the same government that was first subsidy removal has put on ownership in so many homes, is now even missing the idea of under 5% tax increase. You should know that it's going to have a rebound effect on the economy. The economy is going to witness more inflation. Its division is going to further erode the power of the naira we are carrying. And yes, nobody is talking. TUC is just waiting. Just people go to they're even worse. I don't understand. So, I only pray that the current move by the TUC to force the government, to compel the government to withdraw the draft policy, also, even modify in order to reduce the hardship from the government. I hope they get to the medical end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution this morning. Now let's move to Osun State. The headline on the Punch says, seized allocations, court hears Osun suit against CBN. Now, the Federal High Court in Abuja has fixed September 22nd for the hearing of all applications in a suit filed by the Osun State government against the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Accountant General of the Federation over alleged plans to divert local government allocations. The case apparently revolves around the control of local government funds following the removal of council chairman elected in October 2022 under the APC. The Osun State government, which is led by the PDP, maintains that those chairmen were sacked by a subsisting judgment of the Federal High Court. The decision was later upheld by the Court of Appeal. And, at yesterday's proceedings, Justice Emeka Nwite adjourned the matter after hearing submission from all parties. Apparently, they say the Osun State government is saying that the CBN is, trying to send the money meant for the local governments to the governor. To the APC chairman,
who are no longer
who they've said are no longer, chairman in the state.
In the state.
But on a broader spectrum, this issue of local government funds, that's how it just vanished, and we didn't hear anything about it again. Let's take this call first. Okay, we lost the call. Please.
You see, you said it vanished. It didn't vanish. You see, the federal government went to Supreme Court, obtained judgment. Supreme Court said release this in.
And the CBN came with its humongous
directives. You must do this. You must do that. At the end of the day, it was to just to how do I put it? It's just for Nigerians to have something to talk about, because at beer parlor, marketplaces, you hear people talking. Yes. It's good. Local government. There'll be development now. They're all playing games. When this thing was said, I told my colleagues that this thing is a script. They are playing games. They are a drama. I remember when I was in Nollywood, you write some scripts. I tell people, don't write a script where people who watch it will know how it will end. They say no, and the easiest way to write a script is you write the one. That's why if you watch Nigerian movies, you will know exactly what you interpret the story, even from beginning to the end. It was a drama, Bola. It was never meant to be enforced. Now, governors are having their hands full of cash.
They're having the time of their lives.
That's why they are renovating cemeteries. That's why they are renovating buildings. That's why they are investing in Lagos State House of Assembly. Say they will buy each lawmaker is entitled to 155 million property in Lagos and in Abuja. That's why Izibrono Kasina came up with the same thing. Because there is a lot of money, and yet the more pressures, financial pressures are coming on the citizens. 5% tax. Now, why? You see, Bola, if we want to really reset Nigeria, it is a tax that must be done, because we can't continue this way. We must have rules. Our people must be educated to understand that, look, this is how government functions. Yeah, we don't even know what we are doing. Look at, you went to court. Government has given instruction. The people that the money should be released to are no longer, you have sacked them. They are no longer even in. Are you giving the money? Are you going to give the money to them in their houses? It is just a mess. You understand? Because we are not telling ourselves the truth. The good book says, I keep saying it anywhere, that if you know what is good to do and you don't do it, to you it is evil. And if you know the truth will set you free. Does it mean that government doesn't know? They know the truth, but they don't want to implement that truth they know. That's why Nigeria is moving. And moreover, leadership is seen ahead. Do you know that some of the things we are asking for today, across all tribes, all ethnic groups, is what Ojukwu saw in the 60s at Aburi? Go and read Aburi Accord. Let us restructure this country so that we move forward. They fought against him. Now, what he asked in the 60s is what we are asking for today, restructuring. When we restructure this country, some of these hiccups and convulsions we have within the polity will be addressed.
All right, let's take this story on the Daily Trust newspaper. It says, someone, El Rufai petitions PSC, accuses police of misconduct. Now, former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El Rufai, has petitioned the Police Service Commission and the Inspector General of Police over alleged unprofessional conduct, abuse of office, and violations of the Police Act by senior officers of the Kaduna State Police Command. El-Rufai's petition comes in the wake of an invitation extended to him and 6 other members of the African Democratic Congress by the State Criminal Investigation Department, SCID, for questioning on allegations of criminal conspiracy, inciting disturbance of public peace, mischief, and causing grievous harm. Apparently, El-Rufai was expected at the police station on Monday, at the police command rather, but he did not, honor the invitation. Instead, he sent a team of lawyers, to the police. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, West.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, George calling back.
All right, Mr. George, please go ahead.
Is this government lacking money to maintain roads? Look at this issue of a local government fund that Chukwemeka just talked about now. How did it end? They don't lack money for maintenance of roads. Why are they strangling the masses? That is just the problem that is the people are talking about. We are crying that you have increased fuel, removed subsidy, and you should bring down the cost of fuel. You are bringing tax on top of that. We should tell this president that he is there to serve us. He's not there to kill us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
So, Bola, let's look at, you mentioned about El-Rufai. You see, when it comes to issue of El-Rufai, I don't want to dwell so much on him, because if Nigeria, like he's going about now, saying Nigeria is rotten, he provided some of the ingredients. El-Rufai is now going to churches. Imagine. He went to church in Imo State, El-Rufai entering church to go and talk against, who cares to listen to him? If Tinubu is doing what he's doing in Nigeria today, El-Rufai, you look at what he said in Chatham House. When Muslim ticket came up, look at what El-Rufai, go and check what he said. Now we have conquered, we now have, it will be difficult. Look, anybody listening to El-Rufai is like, leave him alone. When a man is drowning, let him drown alone. Nigeria will not drown with him. I have nothing to say. Look, because go and check remember when he was a governor, he was running around one journalist, Abba Jalingo, somebody, to capture him. And because he felt he has all the power at his disposal. Now, the same man is, imagine El-Rufai. I saw him in a church, I say, wow, wonder shall never end.
Does this follow for the other members of ADC who are also saying they've been harassed by the
Leave
police?
him, how many people did he himself harass? See what I'm saying? He too. What did he do when he was in power? Leave him alone. Anything about him, I don't like to read it. Because if Nigeria is passing through whatever problem, he contributed largely to it. He went to Chatham House. What did he say at the Chatham House? Go and play that video. Go and check his antecedents and see what he's doing today. Because you can't be running with the hare and be chasing with the fox. Now it is your turn. You are shouting. Who cares? Shout. If you like, climb mountain and go and shout. Nobody will listen to you. Because if Nigeria is in the hand of a monster, you helped to give birth to that monster.
Before we wrap up the show this morning, there's this headline that says JAMB panel examination malpractice becoming normal. Now, the Special Committee on Examination Infractions, SCEI, set up by JAMB, said that candidates' parents are behind 80% of infractions.
That is it. Most parents do not encourage their children to study. That is the decay in the system.
Apparently, some even intentionally provide all the machinery.
That is it. That's what I'm saying. There is a decay, total rottenness, and I begin to wonder where is the place of faith-based institutions in this country. Honestly speaking, if you are not worried, I am worried, because it is
when you say faith-based,
because I attended faith-based schools when I was growing up. You dare not cheat; they will send you away. Your parents will even come to school and what are you saying?
But they can only do the little they can do in their own corner. How can they, you
see, the standard of everything has fallen. We are too religious without being godly. What we see people preaching about religion is not about godliness. Godliness does not make noise. Religion is full of noise. If Muslims will tell their children, look, cheating in the exam is wrong, and Christians will tell their children that cheating in exam is manipulation, God hates it. And I thank God I interviewed somebody from a school. He said that was the first time I was hearing righteous certificate. And I was saying, wow, certificate you can defend. Because you wrote exactly what they taught you, not the one that you cloned or your parents bought for you. Check some of these students, either they're Muslims or Christians. Why are we having churches and mosques all over the place, and rottenness and decay is all over the place? is religion, not godliness. I keep saying it. Godliness will put a fear of God in you. You don't need anybody to watch over you before you do the needful. You understand? So the society is rotten, and the earlier we come back to God, the better for all of us, because judgment is coming. No matter who you are, we will all appear before God one day. Every religion believes that we are going somewhere. How have you prepared for where you are going?
That's a very good question, and it's on that note that we'll wrap it up. I remember a song that we used to sing in teenager that would say, "You cannot hide it from God. You may cover your sins that nobody may know, but you cannot hide it from God."
Many people don't know that God is watching all of us. Continue to pretend. Continue to do what you want to do. Continue to work on your reputation when you don't have character. People live on reputation, and character is zero. Let people see me as this when you know you are not that thing.
All right, so say what you mean and mean what you say. That's how we wrap it up on Perspectives Unlimited. Thank you so much for having the show. And thank you to everyone who called. To those who dropped messages on our Facebook page, Dari Akiade, who says, "Well done, Ma. Good morning. I am Sugar all the way from Olugwere." And commenter Jolaosho Ariyo Henry, who says, "Good morning, watching you from Oyo. Thank you so much for joining us this morning." That's it on Perspectives Unlimited. Stay tuned because our daily is coming with the latest stories in the world of sports. Good morning and God bless you.